Welcome to the business of being healthy, where we are passionate about treating our health as good as we treat our wealth. Sheley Brien here, and I am obsessed with sharing real-life experiences and wisdom to help save you time, heartache, and money as you continue to grow personally and professionally. Twice a week, we push aside that BS to take massive intentional action. And I promise by tuning in, you will receive the straightforward talk you've been waiting for, filled with actionable steps that will inspire you to achieve the health and wealth you desire while you are building your empire. Here we are, the second full week into 2024. And if you've been hanging with me over these last 2 weeks, I am so excited to have you here for this Health New Year Blitz. I am just really passionate about this time of year because I know you are like me, you're getting bombarded on social media, friends, in the coffee room, just conversations out, new diet, this, new workout, this, these big audacious goals. And I want to take everything aside and bring you back to just a new way that you can look at your health. And it is all tied to your mindset. There's no tricks here. There are no diet tricks. There are no restrictions, no crazy, extreme, long workouts that are going to take you to the health that you want unless your mindset is in the place to support you. Of course, everything that we talk about here on the show is going to be carried over from health to your business or business over to your health. That is the thing is that these skills between each one are absolutely transferable. And talking about skills, that's what this episode is all about. Skills versus behaviors when it comes to your health. And you'll see lots of close ties to business as well. But the first episode in this series, it was all about talking and understanding not new, but better. Don't always look to be adding new. What are you doing well that we can make better? The second episode was about stacking up those small wins. The more wins that you have, the more consistency that you're going to have towards reaching those goals. Now, our third one was all about understanding what success looks like. And to each person, that is very different. So this episode, I got a little passionate on that one. Sorry, not sorry. Now, today's episode, like I said, is all about skills versus behaviors. Now, in our business and other businesses that we've had, and my experience in corporate America, training, we hire, and I think this is a skill in itself, we hire primarily based upon behaviors because skills are something that can be trained, they can be learned. It is knowledge that we can apply. But it is truly only successful if the behaviors are available. So before we get into the meat of this, let's talk about behaviors versus skills. And I mean, this is something, even as we're growing our construction business right now, that is the number one thing that we look at when we bring someone on, regardless of the role. It is the behaviors, because the skills are something that we can train. Skills are technical. They're measurable abilities that you bring to the table, things that you can learn, that you can quantify, and you can refine over time. My sales skills when I first started in 2004 were completely different from when I exited the industry in 2018. Totally different, because I was able to refine that skill over time. And when you think about skills as like your toolbox, it's specific talents. I already spoke about like sales skills, leadership skills, coding, project management, financial analysis, maybe it's HR. All these things are skills, okay? This information is readily available and can be taught in various ways. And the more skills that you learn, you figure out where you excel at and where you can, right? Going back to episode 1 in this series, where you can actually make it better. Now, behaviors are a little bit less tangible, yet equally crucial. I would argue even more crucial because it's the aspects of how you operate, whether that's how you operate in your personal life or how you operate in professional settings. They should be the same. And I honestly hate that word should, but they should be the same. The way that you operate at home should be the same as the way you operate at work. There should be no difference. And when there is a difference, that's when things get off kiltered. But your behaviors are your interpersonal dynamics. It's how you approach problem solving. Maybe it's your communication style, your capacity to adapt or be flexible, your resourcefulness. All of these are behaviors. These are a lot of the time shaped in us through our childhood. And based upon our environments and experiences, they can either increase or decrease. Now, skills will absolutely in business get you in the door, without a doubt. But it's really your behaviors that determine how well you navigate in the room or you navigate the ups and downs of life, whether it's in business or in your health. So skills are teachable, like I said, right? But the behaviors are ingrained. It's by our values and our experiences. Now, I want you to think about yourself for a moment. This is something that I actually used to my advantage way back in the day when I started my health journey, because there were so many things in business that I did really well. I was tenacious. I was resourceful. I would absolutely find solutions. So those are skills that I already had. And when it came to my health, and I had no idea how to get started, I literally had to lean on those skills because I was brand new in this. I had no idea what was going on. I knew health was important and I knew my health wasn't very good at the time. And I have a few different periods in history I share on all the previous episodes, right? I'm blind in my left eye because I didn't manage my stress. But you know what I did manage well? The ability to be consistent in growing a $17 million book of business in the financial industry. So I knew that consistency yielded results. So when I knew that my stress was over the top, I could understand how to use the behavior of skill to help me, or excuse me, the behavior of consistency to help me reduce my stress and be able to manage my stress. Now, let me ask you this. If you were to reflect on yourself as the employee for the job of managing your health, how would you rate yourself? Would you give yourself a raise or would you fire yourself on the spot? Now, I had to fire myself. Back in 2012, it was after having my daughter, my second child. I was really beating myself up. I was that cancer in the office, beating myself up mentally. I felt exhausted. I hated certain parts of my body. I would really be quite mean to myself. And I wonder if you've been in that place too, where you were so mad at yourself because maybe you've tried every diet under the sun and they didn't quote unquote work for you. And it was to the point where you're blaming you, maybe not the diet, or maybe the diet when the finger should have been pointed at you. And so I share that just to say I've been there. And it's something that I definitely had to fire myself on because my behaviors when it came to my health were not supportive of the overall company, of me. And I had to get rid of it. I had to fire the bad behaviors that I had, the lack of consistency, the mean, almost degrading thoughts that I had about myself. I had to reflect on them and understand how they were actually pulling me farther and farther away from where I wanted to go. But you know what was really interesting when I took the time to do that is I realized that I actually had all the behaviors to be able to do it. I just lacked the skills. I had the behaviors, but I lacked the skills. And so my behavior started lacking. I started beating up on myself, being mean to myself. That was unwarranted. I literally just made two babies. It's pretty freaking amazing if you ask me. And so I stepped back and I'm like, all right, what behaviors do I need to be able to successfully manage my health? And I was successful in business. I was successful in my career. So that's where I went first. That's where I had my confidence. So I started pulling all these behaviors. I was coachable. I was open-minded. I was determined. I was tenacious. I was consistent. I could be consistent relentlessly. You know what? I was brave because I would try new things. And still to this day, I try new things. That's why I have had an incredible experience in my career because of that bravery. And you know what? I was freaking resourceful. I wasn't as resourceful as I could because I usually leaned on myself more than actually asking for other people's help. But I looked at those behaviors and I was like, okay, I have all of this. I know this has made me successful in business. How can I leverage these towards my health? And all I was lacking were the skills. That is something that is teachable. That is something I could get. I could buy, I could invest time, I could research, talk to other people. So I started looking at the skills of nutrition. What is nutrition? Holy hell, did I make a lot of mistakes there, but I learned. I started looking at the skills of exercise and movement, what I liked, what I didn't like. I didn't, there were periods of time that I was like, oh, everyone's on this yoga bandwagon. Everyone's doing this. And I would try it. And I'm like, I hate this. I'm not going to do it. That's okay. I tried it. I learned. I got the experience. I gained a new skill. The skill of personal growth, reading. You know, if you've been following me on social media, I am all about reading, expanding my mind, understanding how I think and process information because your mindset is so closely tied to where you want to go. I'm in a significant period of growth right now. I will share more on that on another episode, but that personal growth, that is a skill. And I use that in my health. Learning how to cook differently. I used to think I ate and cooked super healthy. Holy cow, was I wrong? No fault of my own. I just didn't know. That was a skill that I had to get. When I go out to eat to order, I know how to order off the menu. I have no problem asking for exactly what I want if it's a modification. I understand how foods work so that I can order more appropriately towards my goals. That is a skill I gained. I'm not special. Anyone can get that. I understood how to track and measure and rate different activities to whether I was going to continue investing in that, investing my time and effort into it or not. I learned the art of stretching. As crazy as that sounds, the art of stretching to how that can help your overall body and health. All of these were skills, but I leaned on my behaviors to get me there. And it was the behaviors that I actually used in my business were what I leveraged over into my health. So I wanted to share this. I mean, this is a personal example. I'm sharing what I did in hopes that it helps you because I know if you're listening to this show, I know that you have the behaviors, you have the intangible skills, or excuse me, you have the intangible abilities to be able to learn the skills to be also successful with your health and feel as confident as you do in your business, in your career, as you do with your health. And so here's what I would do if I were to fire myself again, because now I am over a decade into this. And if I were to look back and be like, okay, how could I shorten up that decade? This is what I would have done differently. The one thing I would have done the same is I would have looked, where are my behaviors? There were some behaviors that I had that I did not like, right? Being mean to myself, um, blaming everything but myself, and looking at, like, I kind of had a bad attitude just about health, culture, and my body. But then I started looking at, okay, what behaviors do I like? Where am I successful? How can I transfer these behaviors? So I recognized what I didn't like, but I also understood where my strengths were when it came to behaviors. And then I looked at what skills I needed. The first two skills that I looked at were nutrition and exercising, and I would do that again. What works for me, my body, and my goals? And if you listen to the third episode, which I hope that you did in this series, it was episode 107, is understanding what success looks like for you and having that long time horizon. But the one thing that I would absolutely do differently is ask for help faster. So whether that is help mentally, like therapy, absolutely ask faster. I would have read way earlier. I would have listened to podcasts just like this, people that I have seen do it and share how they did it. That is where the gold is. I would have hired someone to help me with nutrition. I did a lot of trial and error. I would have rather had someone teach me and then I apply right away with them. That would have saved me a significant amount of time. The other thing that I would do is set small goals. There's the book Atomic Habits. We'll link it in the notes. That's a great one. It's definitely a book that I think everyone should read because you can apply it to everything. It's a one-time read because you'll get the point really quick, but bring it back to these small goals. Stack these small wins. This was the second episode 106 in this series. Stack those small wins fast. The other thing that I would do is visualize where I want to be in 1 year. I had no problem visualizing for my business. I had no problem visualizing for my goals when it came to my horse competitions. I had no problem visualizing that. The thing that I didn't visualize enough was my health goals. How did I want to feel? How did I want to show up to that meeting? What do I want to be wearing? What is it that will increase my confidence? Who is that person? Visualize what your health will be like. Start 1 year from now. And last but not least, is I would ask why a whole hell of a lot. That's one thing that I got away from in my corporate experiences because and I think this is a female trait. Shoot me if it's not, but I want to understand why. Not because I'm challenging you, because when I understand why I'm doing something in business or in health, it helps me dig down deeper when it gets tough. If I know that X leads to Y, great. But if you're just telling me to do X, I'm going to have little motivation to get to Y. So keep asking why. Ask why to people on social media. Why do they do that? Why did you say that? What did you learn there? Ask why as much as you can. I wish I would have done that sooner. So just like I tell my kids, it's okay to not know the answer or not understand something, but it is not okay to stay that way. We have too many opportunities at our fingertips. There is no reason that anyone should feel like they are stuck. And I wish someone would have shared that with me so much sooner. And that's why I am sharing it now on the show with all of you. Your health is so greatly tied to your mindset. And if you can focus in on increasing your mindset in whatever capacity that is, I shared 4 very different perspectives on it in this New Year Health Blitz. That if you could take one thing from this, I know because I have lived it too, you will be in a much better position 1 year from now, and then 2 years from now, and 10 years from now. Your health is more closely tied to your mindset than some crazy diet or some crazy workout. And when you gather your mindset, it will be serving you when you start increasing all of your skills. So again, if these hit home with you, I would just ask that you share them out. Let's kind of be counter against the diet culture that is going to be bombarding you in January. Let's actually do the good work that is going to change it. So next year, you will see all the BS that I see now when diet culture hits in January, and you will laugh because you are doing the work necessary, your mindset, to pull you away from that. You will like matrix red pill on it and see all the code and know exactly what to do to be able to reach your health goals, and recognize that every skill that you're increasing, you are going to be able to pull that skill and transfer it from your business to your health and back and forth. Thanks so much for coming with me on this New Year Health Blitz, and we will see you on the next one.